Them letters my mama had me write, they was good.
Them letters ain't make you change overnight.
No, they didn't. Congratulations.
For
your engagement. Sorry about that. Okay.
Okay, Sistas fans, you just saw a snippet of the moment between Zach and Karen in the back office of the salon where Karen is seemingly, I guess calling some sort of truce or whatever, and I don't buy it. I mean, look, some people like, Jeremy, all these times you've been wanting Karen to calm down and stop causing trouble, and the one time she's trying, bury the hatchet and make things cool, you think she's being foul. You think she's being insincere. Yeah, that's very true. I do think it's all an act. But basically, what I want to do here is play the full clip. I couldn't do it at the start of the video. Copyright, yada, yada, yada. I only gave you a little bit. But what I'm going to do now is what I usually do in cases of the clip being too dang long to play. I'm going to play the audio so you can listen to the entire thing yourself. And once it's done, I'm going to go ahead and talk about why I think this is all bull crap, that it's a setup, that, she was getting Zach to drop his guard. And yeah, this is just going to be the moment after he gets her to stop signing the document. So we'll go from there.
Them letters my mama had me write, they was good. Starting to feel lighter.
It's good.
Yeah. Light enough to let all this shit go.
Oh, that's real good.
Mm-hmm. You know what else?
What's that?
I'm gonna make the best of this, and you gonna make the best of this. And we good.
That's the right attitude.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
Zatima's a cool chick.
Whoa now. Whoa. I don't know what you trying to do, got going on, but...
What?
I mean, I know she a cool chick and all, but them letters ain't make you change overnight. So.
No, they didn't.
Right, so...
We ain't getting any younger. There's no reason to keep wasting time on, this.
Right.
Right. Well.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
For
your engagement and fatherhood.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the reason I call bull crap is the fact that, number one, there are a number of reasons, but the number one, you're telling me the Karen from the night before, the Karen who was, throwing shade like it was nobody's business and then flying off, at Zach and Fatima's house, then she pretty much, was too through after seeing the engagement ring. Then, she went to Aaron and, she just played like, oh, hey, thanks for being so sweet. This, that, and the third. Come over. Ice cream, foot rubs. Let's have a good time. Then she was pissed off at Andy for, at the penthouse for, not telling her about the engagement and, saying she was going to try to get more money and whatnot, even though she was willing to sign this agreement. So I really don't know what happened to that. But here, and then the Karen we saw at the salon, how are they the same person? Now, this could be a number of things. The first being that this could be the result of us not seeing what went down between Aaron and Karen at her apartment that night. Because that's one thing I hate about not just Tyler Perry shows, but any show in general, where you have these characters who, have this off-screen development. They pretty much go through a personality change or whatever, where we don't see what really drives that. We don't know what creates that change. I mean, the number of times that Aaron has done the ice cream or pickle or foot back rub, whatever. Yeah, I mean, it calms her down, but For her to have this complete the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde turnaround makes no sense. We could have at least seen a moment of her at Aaron at her place, or gotten a mention of it, but we don't. Then on top of that, you look at how Karen's behavior goes in line with her in the past. More often than not, when Karen is calm, that's when she's the most dangerous, because she's usually plotting something. Andy, tell Fatima to come over to your place so we can talk. There's something I need to tell all y'all, including Fatima. And Andy like, no. I know something like, Andy, it's not like that. I just need to talk to all of y'all and tell y'all something. Then it was at the last minute when Andy figured out it was all a trap to hurt Fatima. Then Karen got on that whole, okay, friend, this ain't going to stop. You've already done what you need to do, and I'm going to handle the rest. She basically does this all the time. And then another thing to point out is when she mentioned those freaking letters. First of all, we know that she lied to her mom at the start because she wanted to convince her mom everything's okay and she can go. That's another thing. Then she brought it up again. Remember, she also brought it up to Andy and Danny. Hey, you remember those letters my mom had me write? I think they're working. I feel like I can move on. Wait, was it the same? No, well, okay. That was she said that at night. Then the next morning, they went to the doctor's office. And then later that same day, over at Zach and Fatima, she flew off on those two because they're happy. Those letters didn't do crap. Now, guess what? She's bringing up then she brought him up again at the penthouse. And I'm like, don't bring up those letters like they did anything. And you're literally acting like they never happened. Not even 30 minutes ago at Zach and Fatima's. Then she tells the girls, oh, those letters really help. Now she's telling Zach, oh, those letters. No, they didn't. Stop acting like they were important. Just because they took up half of the season, don't act like they did anything aside from waste time. I think the biggest thing is the hug at the end. Because remember, when she wanted Zach to give her a hug before he left, he was hesitant at first, but then decided, okay, come on. Let's hug it out. Remember, she gave Andy one heck of a hug when she came over to the salon. And then Andy was like, wow, Karen, you've never hugged me like that before. But what was it? We knew she was happy to see Andy because she needed Andy for something, which was to convince her mom that the girls had her, all good. They would take turns watching over her and whatnot, and her mom could go. She needed something from Andy. So that's why she was happy to embrace her. With Karen and Zach, it just feels really out of place. Like the Karen, you could also argue that, well, Jeremy, it's not uncommon for, women or Karen or anybody in that, in general, like, it's not over until they say it's over. So even though Zach has been trying to make peace and he was pretty, clear and easy to understand the night before when he told her about, what his intentions were. Okay, we have this kid. If it is mine, here's how I hope we can, co-parent and whatnot. But she didn't want to hear that because the mention of, well, Fatima and I talked it out, and then she saw the engagement ring. But she can explode. But then when she cools down, she can, talk like, oh, well, even though you laid out a very good plan the night before, I didn't like it because it wasn't my plan. So we're going to, make the best of this, and we're going to be cool, because she goes on to say, I'm going to make the best of it and you're going to make the best of it and we'll be good. And it's like, well, that's exactly what Zach was saying, but you didn't want to hear it. But because he said it, and it seems Fatima had an input as well, you didn't care for that plan. But now that you've had your moment of exploding on someone, and not in the sexual way, you can lay out the same plan and everything is hunky-dory. No. It just seems to me that Karen was just trying to play Zach. It is. How can you literally stand up there and congratulate and go, Fatima's a cool chick and congratulations on your engagement, when the night before Fatima called your behind out because look, you're being shady. You don't wish me well. You don't want the best for me and Zach. And I mean, it's like she said, I want us to all be happy. You don't mean it. I mean, you literally say you throw shade unintentionally, but I feel at her heart of hearts, she does want happiness for everybody. But the thing is, things didn't play out the way she wanted it to. How come Zach and Fatima can't be happy, but you were allowed to be happy when you were Aaron in season 2? Because it wasn't on your terms that Zach left and, became happy. That's all it was, because Zach stopped playing the game of, oh, we get mad at each other, you go off with a woman or women, and then once you're tired of them, you come back to me. But this time, Fatima, they're stuck together. It was like gum on the bottom of a shoe. It's like they can't get rid of each other because they love each other that much. But because Karen wasn't the one who was like, oh yeah, I'm done with you, Zach. Well, I mean, technically she was, but because Zach is happy and had to come up, she can't live with that. She has to do everything she can to bring them down. And I really do feel like when it comes to Zach and Karen, I agree with what some people say, that when it's just those two together, there's a different vibe than, let's say, when Fatima's present. Because you go back to like when they were reading the letters, Karen, I don't even want to use the word calm, because she spent who knows how long taking a break crying after reading that first letter. But when she was getting ready to read the letter to Zach, the whole vibe changed the moment Fatima came in the room. I mean, the apartment. But I do feel like Karen set him up. It goes back to the whole setup video. Number one, she knew ahead of time that Zach was coming. Number two, she decided to play old games. That's one thing Karen's always going to do. She's always going to throw shade. Oh, I forgot to hit send. Well, what? I really did forget to hit send. Remember how many times you played that trick on me? She's always trying to drum up old feelings and whatnot. That's why I really feel she wanted to go to the back office. All Zach had to do, hey, here's the document, hand them off to Andy, and, we'll finish things up. Some people are like, well, that's because she didn't want everybody in her business. I understand that, but they're really... I mean, back when I would get my, hair cut at a barbershop or whatnot, before I started cutting it myself, it wasn't uncommon for, like, let's say somebody with a delivery and whatnot to come in the door, and the bar be like, yeah, man, set those things in the back. I'll sign off for them right here. It's like, it's nothing, major. Or it's like, hey, Jeremy, give me 1 second. I'll be, right back with you. He'll go to the door, handle the business. It wasn't like, oh, he's keeping business from everybody. It's like, no, he just had to do what he had to do real quick, and then he got back to cutting my hair. Or in cases where, hey, or the mailman, hey, I'm delivering the mail. He would just come in, hand off the mail to the barber, he would put it on the counter, and then that would be it. But no, Karen wanted to go to that back because she felt like it would remind her of, yeah, this is where we created this baby, this, that, and the third. I think it was all a setup. It all came down to how she presented herself. Zach came in all business. Oh no, he was friendly with Pam. Oh, hello, Karen. He wanted to come in, deliver the papers, and leave. That's all it was. Karen was the one that said, let's go to the back. Zach said, no, I don't want to go to the back. And then as soon as they got back there, showed me the documents, and she was ready to sign them right then and there. Which, again, I feel like demonstrates that definitely isn't his baby. Because she was all about getting that child support last night. But like I said before, in off-screen land, she had a change of heart, possibly. But I think it's more in line of, she knows Zach isn't the father. So she's going to sign that document to, not... Well, then again, that's another issue. We don't know what the document said. Are we to assume that the document was based off what Karen said prior to leaving Zach and Fatima's? I don't need child support. I'll sign it and that's it. I'm not going to sue you. Or did it have what Zach wanted? I want to co-parent. I want to be in the child's life and pay $3,000 a month if the baby's mine. We don't know. But all I'm saying is this. Karen knew what she was doing. She knows Zach, and Zach knows the games these people play. For example, she knows how to command Zach. Like I did that short. I'm like, here we go. Karen acting like she can still boss Zach around. Zach, come. I'm like, what is he, a dog or something? It doesn't matter what he accomplishes, how much money he makes. To Karen, Zach is always going to be the bum that was living off of her. In and out of jail, cheating, barely living paycheck to paycheck, always asking her for money. It doesn't matter. She's always going to feel like she can run the relationship. It's never a partnership. It's Karen's way or no way. Yes, Fatima in some aspects has been acting like that. Some people always like, well, Fatima's doing the same thing, but they're together. Karen is acting like they're still together. That things have to be done on her terms. So, like I said before, her calling Fatima a cool chick, her congratulating them on the engagement. Fatima literally called her out the night before. And then when they go out of the back, I think the clincher for, getting Zach to drop his guard. Okay, well, let's get out of here before people start thinking something's going on. And then, okay, well, let's go because I got a client. So they go out and then he's about to leave. All right, see you later, Karen. Hey, what? And then, she has her arms out and everything. It looked just way too staged. She's out in the middle of the floor. Everybody in the salon can see. She goes in for the hug. Zach goes in for the hug because, okay, we're cool. You know what? This is a fun visit. And then, kiss on the cheek. And then the thing is, Zach is puzzled, but the thing about Karen, she went right back to her client, looked down at the hair, got to work like nothing happened. She knew what she was doing. Folks, I would love for Karen to be legit cordial about this, but I think she's playing Zach. I think this was all an act. It was all staged. She has somebody in place, Belinda or somebody else, to take a photo of those two in the embrace because, like I said, it just felt way too perfect. Why didn't they hug in the back room? Or something like that. No, because she wanted somebody to get that photo to F things up for Zatima once Zach got home from work. I don't think she was being sincere. I think this was all a lie. She's not happy about the situation. She just wanted to start some crap. This is who Karen is. Misery loves company. Zach should have never went to that salon. So let me know what you think. Personally, I don't think anything about what Karen said was the truth. She's like, just those letters helped me move. Even Zach was like, it didn't change in 24 hours. No, they didn't, but things are getting better. And, life's too short for us to deal with all this. And that's another thing. It goes back to what I said earlier about Karen, how Zach or anybody else, they can have a great idea. They can make a great point. But the thing is, it doesn't matter until Karen is the one who regurgitates what has been said. It's redundant. Her being like, I'm going to make the best. You're going to make out the best of this. And we're going to be cool. And, life's too short for all this. She makes it seem like all this is animosity coming from both ends. No, Karen, you're the shit starter. You're the one who causes all the drama. So don't act like, all the funk that's going on is a result of Zach and you. You're the problem. I'm not talking about when they were together. Yes, Zach was an issue, but I'm talking about after the split, since he's moved on, you need to make it seem like I'm foul and you're foul. It's kind of like at the beginning of season 3, or was it season 4, when, I think that's when Gary started showering Andy with gifts like the car and whatnot. And, that Andy and Karen had a conversation in the parking garage about, Karen's like, yeah, I think, I just need to move on and let Zach go. Yeah, that's for the best. And you and Gary, right? And it's like, no, Karen, you take accountability for what you need to do in your life. Don't act like just because I need to give up something. Okay, just because you had to give up something that I need to give up something. No, worry about yourself. That's the thing. Okay, I'm done. I think, Karen, it was all a setup. It's all a lie. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You can tell me off. But I know people on Twitter, on the Facebook group, and on Instagram saying the same thing. See, you can't let Karen have a moment of vulnerability. She's lying. Dang it. And this is all based on behavior patterns we've seen in previous seasons. So that's the thing. People always look at one isolated scene, whereas I look at one scene, but then I compare it with character patterns from, all across the series. Karen is playing Zach. It was all a ruse. So I'll probably do a separate video about these two possibly getting back together, because I do feel like Karen keeps trying to drum up old feelings, but it ain't working. So again, like and subscribe, follow me on social media, and I'll talk to you in the next one.